Very good evening and welcome. This is Weekend Primetime News here on TV1, Shakti TV, and also a shout out to our Facebook viewers on Newsfirst.lk. We are streaming live on Facebook as well. Here's a look at your headlines. First up.
Wild elephant attacks van in Karulgasväva. 2 dead. Another businessman shot dead by an unidentified gunman. 3 major oil supply pipes from Kolanawa in dilapidated condition. Inmates of Valikada take centre stage on the political arena. Attempts to sell rice classified as animal feed for human consumption.
Now, a Jaffna resident's dream of moving to Canada was shattered following a tragedy that took place during the early hours of today.
11 persons were travelling in a van from Jaffna to Katunayaka early this morning, which was attacked by a wild elephant at the 7th mile post on the Putlam-Anuradhapura main road. Eyewitness accounts say that the wild elephant was on the road at the time and the van collided with it under the cover of darkness.
They were warned of the presence of the elephant. He had continued to drive forward. That was when the van was attacked. The elephant was on the ground and it had risen and attacked them.
4 persons travelling in the van were to fly off to Canada today. One of them was 39-year-old Nimar Raj and he was killed in the attack. He was a resident from Point Pedro, Jaffna.
This is an area where the human-elephant conflict is reported frequently. The reason is because elephants from the Tabova reserve encroach on villagers. An electric fence is set up only on one side of the road. However, the elephants cross from either side.
Such tragedies must not take place. The government must intervene. 9 others in the van were rushed to the Putlam-based hospital due to injuries. A 5-year-old in serious condition was immediately rushed to the Colombo National Hospital but succumbed while being treated in the ICU. Relatives in Point Pedro who were expecting the group's return from the airport drop were in shock after receiving news of the tragedy.
For the second time this week, a businessman was murdered, this time from the Nanoya area in Pilimathalava.
A businessman who was just about to call it a night was shot dead at around 10 last night by a masked gunman. The victim was 30-year-old Sanjay Bandarahera, the father of 1. He was a resident of Nanoya and was maintaining a restaurant in a small part of his house. Restaurant employees said that the shooter arrived in a motorbike.
He kept the ignition on. He did not take notice of that. Then I heard that Sanjay was shot and he was on the ground. I lifted him up. I was speaking to him about kottu that was ordered. After that, I came here to collect the kottu. He said, "Don't move," and then I heard the shots.
Who was asked not to move?
Must have been to Saji.
Police investigations are underway to locate the shooter. There was news before that the body of a child was left in Palakattuwela after being hacked to death. How can we live when there are murders happening everywhere? I'm scared. I have 2 more sons.
3 main pipelines that carry oil from Colombo to Kolanawa that belong to the Ceylon Petroleum Corporation have been inactive over a long period of time. COPE investigations too contain details of this particular project.
According to the 2016 mid-year fiscal report of the Ministry of Finance, the loss incurred at the Ceylon Petroleum Corporation in the year 2015 is 18,384 million rupees. The third reason listed in the COPE report for the losses at the Petroleum Corporation are the issues in the pipelines that carry oil. The main issue pertaining to these pipelines are that they are old and are in a dilapidated state. We can also see a number of locations where these underground lines have surfaced. Why is there a further delay to repair these pipelines that cause losses to the Ceylon Petroleum Corporation?
We have obtained approval to call for tenders to relay these pipes. We will call for tenders next week. The respective notifications will be dispatched to all diplomatic missions by Monday. We can hand over the selected contracts before the end of December and commence the restoration of the relaying of these pipes. We are currently laying one pipeline using our employees. Our technicians cannot undertake the task where the pipes run under the rail tracks and roads. We have called for tenders from institutions that possess the expertise for that. We can complete this process by the end of the year.
Generally, the public has to go through many obstacles before they can secure a public project for their village or town. When declaring such projects open, the politicians too create unnecessary complications. What is more important to the people? Is it the project or the person who declares it open?
A building at the Hingurana Weekly Fair constructed at a cost of 40 million rupees was to be declared open this morning at 9:45. The Chief Minister of the Eastern Province was invited to declare the project open. However, 10 minutes before the scheduled opening time, the Minister of Primary Industries Thaya Gamage and the Deputy Minister of Petroleum Gas Anuma Gamage attempted to declare the building open. Thereafter, the minister unveiled a plaque headed by the dance troupe. The dance troupe had to re-perform their act once the Chief Minister arrived 5 minutes later. The Chief Minister had to unveil the plaque that was covered with a piece of paper.
This was the first time finances were allocated for the Eastern Province. We have only 4 months left. With 4 months left, it does not matter whether it's me who comes or whether it's someone else. We don't do it for the media. We do not want politics. We want to allocate the finances within these 4 months and provide the maximum services to the people as the President desires. There was an incident. I apologize from the Chief Minister. The cloth we were to unveil was removed and thrown away. They took it away. They did the first opening. Now the Chief Minister came and did the second opening. I think it's a joke on the country and on the good governance. They have interrupted in activities where they do not belong. They have wreaked havoc. I am the most senior politician in the district. This is a misdeed, and this is the first time I saw such an act in my 40 years of politics.
Elsewhere in the country, public facilities which are a right of the public were handed over to the people with the support of the people through the Gum at the 100-day initiative. 2 projects were launched today which were aimed at benefiting villages that had waterways in place of roads.
The Gum at the 100-day initiative. With the people, for the people.
People had been trying to get this road repaired since the time of my parents. We had never been able to go on this road without falling down.
This was the road which led the way to Botalegama village, the village of 2 Prime Ministers. We are thankful to Silva.
For the past 60 years, the Kalugada Navimana road located in the Merigam electorate in Gampaha, which is also the birthplace of 2 Prime Ministers, turns into a waterway every time it rains. During the dry season, this road is full of dust. People of Botalegama, Ihalagama, Kottekanda, Katukitula and Navimana use this road to reach Merigama. However, using this road is one of the most unpleasant experiences of their lives.
I'm 54 years old and there has never been a proper road.
It is very difficult. A vehicle cannot travel on this road at night. We are very thankful to you. Though two Prime Ministers forgot to provide proper road facilities to Navi Munna, the government, the 100 initiative, who does not look away at the sight of suffering of people, commenced work today to renovate 1 kilometre of this road.
Some may wonder what we are doing in villages without reporting news from Colombo. We faced many experiences while reporting news during the past. In certain villages we visited, we saw that 90% of the people were suffering from kidney ailments. At another village, we saw parents who sent their children to school, being worried for their lives until they return home. Through the Gam at the 100-day initiative, we select problems and provide solutions to them. Though we are news reporters, the concept of manual labour is not something we are unfamiliar with. We are versed in many things. Therefore, we guarantee that the journey to Mirigama, which you spend 500 rupees at present, will be reduced to 150 rupees.
It was 25 years ago that the Usana Shoe Bridge was washed away by the floods. The cement wall that was left behind was used by the villagers who had to cross Havanala Oya. While crossing the Oya, the people had to exercise caution and had to remove their shoes to be careful. However, there had been many occasions where lives were lost due to this unsafe bridge. The probability of paddy produce being produced in the Devahuva agrarian project reaching the market is far lower than the probability of this same produce rotting in the village itself. In an era where attempts are being made to make Sri Lanka on par with the world by building expressways, it is through the Gam at the 100-day initiative that the hopes and dreams of residents of Kalugala were made a reality.
I believe that you complete many tasks that the government is unable to do with a lot of commitment. I saw you showed a village where people had to cross a lake by going over trees. You have come forward to build a bridge for those people. We told everyone possible. We waited for them to do work, but no one came forward. Then we wondered whether there is any point in scolding anyone for not doing anything and wait for someone to do the work. That is why we decided as a media organization we should take the initiative. It is through photos that we first saw the hardship that the people of this village undergo. Our only hope is to complete this project as soon as possible. We do this project without wasting a single rupee, because by minimizing the cost we save money for another project. Lighting at least a single lamp without cursing the darkness is what we should all do. While rendering our support to this initiative of Sirasa TV, we like to commend their efforts. We are very happy. We have been needing this for many years. People have fallen, vehicles have toppled from here.
We can't travel on this at night.
We are
very happy about this initiative and we are grateful to you.
The Gammadda 100-day initiative. With the people, for the people.
Now, if you want to donate or assist the Gam at the 100-day initiative, simply log on to Facebook and search for the Newsfirst SL Facebook page. You can find all the details of the Gam at the project on that page. Meanwhile, Deputy Minister Harsha de Silva issued a stern warning today.
The Deputy Minister made the announcement at the ceremony held to west the renovated Chaitya Road in Gangodavilla with the public. If any of the roads constructed in the area do not meet the required standards, I will file cases against them with the Commission to investigate allegations of bribery or corruption. If persons have obtained contracts in a fraudulent manner by deceiving the people, the country, the government and the local councils, and if you have committed theft, you must be prepared to pay for it. If one loots public funds, we are ready to stand against that. The Minister of Industries and Commerce, Rishad Badiuddin, appeared before the Presidential Commission to investigate and inquire into serious acts of fraud, corruption and abuse of power, state resources and privileges yesterday.
A statement was recorded from the minister in connection to the importation of rice through Satosa. According to the official name of the commission, it has the capacity to investigate into the importation process from the day it was initiated up to acts of fraud discovered today, similar to the one captured on tape by Action TV cameras in Polonnaruwa. However, the only factor that stands against the commission is time. They obtained a statement from me with regard to actions that took place before I took over the ministry. I am prepared to come here at any time, and I am ready to extend my fullest cooperation to carry out investigations. Those who committed the wrongs will be revealed. The minister's statement is technically sound because according to the mandate of the commission, they are only allowed to investigate acts which took place between the 10th of January 2010 and the 10th of January 2015. If investigations are launched into the importation of rice by Lanka Satosa, the high-ranking members of the commission, who have not overstepped their boundaries and are working towards keeping their jobs intact till the tenure of the commission expires, will stumble on a small fraction of a large fraud. It may turn out that only those responsible for the fraction of that fraud will be punished. However, investigating just a fraction of a fraud not only goes against the norms of good governance, but violates the norms of natural justice itself. An unfortunate turn of events commenced in May 2014 after Lanka Satosa opened up 2 letters of credit to begin importation of rice based on cabinet approval. This incident that was caught on camera in Polonnaruwa is also part and parcel of this unfortunate turn of events. Over the past few days, this warehouse had been used to repack rice sold off by Lanka Satosa as animal feed to various persons. Incidentally, the new packaging bears the trademarks of Satosa and were to be distributed for human consumption. Based on the ad hoc reports of PHIs who deemed that this disputed stock of rice was unfit for human consumption, Lanka Satosa took quick steps to sell off this stock as animal feed at a cost which was around half of the imported cost. However, this same stock of rice is now being repacked for human consumption. Since such irregularities could take place, the former chairman of Lanka Satosa took steps to launch an investigation onto the disputed stock of rice. Details of this investigation tomorrow.
In other local news, the UNP membership promotion campaign took place in Velimada today.
Speaking at the campaign, Prime Minister Wickrem commented on tourism promotion centering Mattala.
මත්තල ගුවන් තොටුපොළේ ඉඳන් මෙහාටයි ගේන්න සංචාරකයෝ. පැය කීයද? 2යි. දෙකක් වත් යන්නේ නැහැ නේ.
How long does it take to bring foreigners from Mattala to this location? 2 and sometimes not even 2 hours. If a new road is built to link Vallawaya and Mattala, the journey can be cut down to an hour and a half. They will dress well and go to Mattala and not Katunayaka. There were peacocks. Usually, only one plane or helicopter will take off per day. I went in that helicopter. In 5 years, we plan to bring 1 million visitors.
අවුරුදු 5ක් වෙනකොට සංචාරකයන් ලක්ෂ 10ක් මෙහාට ගේනවා.
Visitors will not go to Colombo, but will make way from Bandarawilla, Pasikuda and leave from Mattala. Our good friend Namal Rajapaksa tells an amazing tale. He says that he did not meet anyone in Velikada who had voted for the Swan. Will you meet persons who voted for the Swan in Velikada? People voted for the Swan so that the rogues will be sent to prison. That is why Namal Rajapaksa will never meet persons who voted for the Swan in Velikada.
Staying on the same subject, why can't people find anyone who voted for the Swan in Velikada? Minister Premadasa explains.
The minister was speaking at the event to place the foundation stone for the houses that will be built in the Naivalawat village in Suturwangama in Walasmulla at a cost of 3.9 million rupees.
ඒකාබද්ධ විපක්ෂයට සම්බන්ධ මන්ත්‍රීවරයෙක් කියනවා
An MP attached to the joint opposition said that persons who voted for good governance are not in prison. He did wrong and went to Velikada as usual. He says that persons who voted for good governance are not in Velikada. I am thankful to him for making that statement. The rogues who were in the former regime are in prison today. Therefore, will persons who voted for President Maithripala Sirisena be there? All of them and those who voted for Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe are in the open. The government was elected by the common man, and that is why the rogues are being nabbed.
Welcome back to the news. The opening session of Testing Grounds, a forum on art and digital cultures in South Asia and Europe, saw Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe direct a jab on the actions of the artists in the past decade.
So the whole
Columboscope 2016 was attended by many personalities from the digital industry in Sri Lanka.
when printing came in, when cinema came in, we are at the top of it, but we lost it in the last 10 years. So though we may have the technology, we got to catch up with creativity. When you have politicians who wanted to be the center of culture and to be the Maharaja, or bureaucrats who want to control it, or artists who paid puja to them, creativity went, and that is the hard fact. We are I think, the only country in South Asia which showed its ability to absorb different cultures, whether it came from India, or whether it came from Europe, or from America, and also to absorb the different technologies. So how do we go from here? First, we've got to protect and record our traditional cultures. That's dying out. What is to be in the different villages. Secondly, to keep some of the festivals that are on.
The handover ceremony of health aid to the Ministry of Health was held in Colombo yesterday.
This event was held to mark the handing over of a number of equipment and supplies worth 80 million rupees by the World Health Organization. Minister of Health Dr. Rajitha Senaratne participated in the event.
WHO has continued with its engagement with the Ministry, providing assistance in strengthening our capacity for emergency medical response, and today WHO is taking another step forward in its cooperation with the Ministry of Health by handing over a host of medical supplies, including 4 mobile hospitals, thus strengthening its emergency medical response capacity.
So there are 4 complete hospitals which can be built during emergencies. There are about 170 deployment kits which have been procured, some boats for the Ministry of Health, and water testing kits and medical supplies. But all this is great. If people don't know how to use them, then we have lost all this effort. They will just remain as showpieces. This week, 50 people in the Ministry of Health and Ministry of Defense were trained on infection control methods.
Minister Field Marshal Sarath Fonseca attended the UNP membership promotion campaign in Kurunegala for the first time today.
For the first time, I am wearing a green t-shirt and speaking on a UNP stage. You are aware that it was the United National Party that invited me to politics. After the war victory, the Rajapaksas were driven insane. They believed that they were kings and thought they come from royalty. They made people their slaves and harassed them. The previous administration should not be even spoken of. Now they frequent the FCID. The sons are visiting that place frequently. When the son comes out, the father goes in. When the father comes out, the grandmother and mother go in.
Sri Lanka cricket captain Angelo Matthews says that TM Dilshan is ending his international career on a high note. TM Dilshan will retire from one-day international cricket after the 3rd ODI against Australia tomorrow.
The biggest idea is to win the match for him. That is our goal. The team appreciates his goal, especially during this series. We are happy that we had the opportunity to play alongside him, and we appreciate his services. If we are able to win the match tomorrow, it will be for Dilshan. Tilakratna Dilshan has amassed a total of 10,248 runs in 329 ODIs with 22 centuries and 47 half-centuries. He will retire from all formats of the game following the conclusion of the T20 series against Australia.
Always remember to be vigilant on the road to avoid accidents. We leave you tonight with this footage of a number of chilling motor accidents as a reminder to always be careful. That's a wrap of Primetime News for tonight. Take care and good night.